Now let's go behind the rock screen.
You're welcome to come on in. We'll bring out the moonshine, start telling lies and calling up the women. But no talk about racing. Come on.
You guys know him from Dirt Nerds, On the Throttle, and AFCS. Duane, thanks for jumping on.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's guys like you that help me get the word out.
Well, that's what we're here for, and I'm glad you took the time to stop by. First thing I want to talk about, everybody that follows you knows this. You're always going to races. I know you got some in over the off season. Anything that jumped out at you over the off season? Any of the races that you attended that I know you got it in the book for next year already, but anything jump out at you?
Of course, Chili Bowl go out there. That's usually a really, really good time. And the Rumble, that was this winter too. The Rumble, I think what kind of jumped out there is how many cars will race indoors still for a one weekend event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only place you can run some of those cars, those midgets and stuff. And it's just amazing to me that they can still get 30. Now there's some attrition and some controversy the first night, and had 18 or 20 the second night, but still, I mean, you take a one weekend, you build a car just for one weekend, it's hard to believe you can still get 30 of them.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there. And I thought, I know there was some controversy the first night, but I thought for the most part, I thought it was looking back, I thought it was a good year for him, and something to build on.
Well, it's always, it's indoor racing on a small deal. You're going to have some bump and run, and you're going to have everything's not going to be perfect all the time. And that going in. I've been to it to, I don't know how many, would they say, that's the 20 some, and I've been to almost every single one, and it's, that's just what you get. I mean, that going in, and the Chili Bowl, over 400 entries. I mean, it's crazy to me. You go to the BC 39, you get lucky, you pays 20,000 to win, you'll get 60 midgets, maybe 70. But where in the hell is these 400 midgets coming from one time a year? When most of the outdoor shows, if you get 30, you're lucky.
Yeah.
So it's amazing there's that many cars out for that too. But that really got me this year. Is there's over 400 entries, and I love midgets. I really do, and I love going there, and it's like the Chili Bowl. 99% of those guys lose money, so it makes no sense to me why some of them don't come to these outdoor events. But you'll have that. I get it. The Chili Bowl's bigger than PRI basically for marketing. I mean, I know people. I've got more sponsorships at the Chili Bowl for AFCS the last couple of years than I have at PRI. If that tells you anything. So I get it why you want to be there, but it's like, why do you got that car just sitting there for all year? And some of these outdoor events pay better than the Chili Bowl, or some good money to start and stuff. So that always makes me scratch my head. It's like, how do you get 400 entries here that cost you a lot of money for that whole week? You got to be there for a whole week, and we can't get over 30 at most events outside.
Yeah, obviously it depends on the track,
Oh yeah,
I love seeing the midgets just as well as you do. You throw the midgets on Eldora, and I've said it time and time again. It's just, it blows my mind because they're 5 wide there, and it's obviously hard to get a good car count because it's tough whether it's a midget or a 410. Eldora is tough on cars, right? So, but I'm with you. Like, why aren't you running it more? And I'm curious. You talk about PRI, and I actually got the PRI, which it's a lot to take in. And I think my first thought when you said that was, I think PRI, because it's such a short window and there's so much going on, where the Chili Bowl is in it of itself.
Right.
PRI is multiple disciplines. Short window, where Chili Bowl is, we're looking at the midgets. And we've got basically an entire week, if you're not counting the shootout before and all that stuff. But maybe you got more of a window there, and it's really focused on dirt racing. Perhaps that's the difference between the Chili Bowl and PRI.
Oh yeah,
both of them awesome. I got a question. Did you get there? Were you there at all for the shootout?
No, nope, never have been. Maybe one of these years, but nope, never been to the shootout at all. Okay. Watch it on TV, but that's about it.
Yeah. I don't. Did you catch Brian Klein running up on the wall in 3 and 4 where he literally drove the bottom of the car up? Yeah. Actually, a coworker of mine, and that was just wild. He's putting the car together actually to run some shows with USAC Midwest Thunder Midget.
Oh, cool.
Season. So good to see another race car out there on the track.
Oh yeah.
But I digress. I don't want to get too far off topic here. Because we could do that. We could go down a rabbit hole forever. So
that's right, for sure.
But get back to the off season. What kind of work did you get done? You talked about Chili Bowl and sponsorship and all that. So how does that look for you? What does Chili Bowl look for? Obviously, you're going to watch the race, but how does that look as far as networking is concerned?
Yeah, it was crazy because I've always gone just to watch. Well, I shouldn't say that because I've sponsored some cars. I've helped some cars before out there. And then all of a sudden, I'll talk to some people. I'll see some of our sponsors out there and thank them. And so I'll maybe have some drinks with them or something, and then all of a sudden, the last few years, I've had people, and I'll kind of start with FK ride-ins. I was going, walking by and talking to him at the booth, and Kenny's like, "Are you Duane Hancock?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, we want to sponsor your series." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And so then I've talked to a few other people, and they're like, "Yeah," and met some other ones. They're like, "Well, are you gonna be at Chili Bowl?" Like, "Yeah, okay. Well, it's a lot easier for us to meet there." And that's how I got Simpson last year. My buddy Kyle Armstrong works for him, but his big boss was flying in, and he goes, "You'll have him all by yourself," and so I've got some different sponsorships out there. I actually, years ago, Spanky's Pizza, that's how I got him. I mean, he's from Ohio, and we're out there. It's the first time I ever met him, and we went out one night, and I took him to some places he didn't know existed in Tulsa, and he goes, "Okay, well, that sponsorship, you got it, bud." So, it's crazy. I mean, that might have been a little more wild than the other ones.
Man, you gotta have some nights. You gotta have some nights like that, and that's where the stories come from. And we've all got those. But you're talking about the networking and just how things work out as far as. I mean, this goes back to just stuff I've said time and time again. With what separates dirt racing from everything else, the ability to interact with anybody and everybody.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I was at Lawrenceburg Saturday, and if you're walking through the pits, Justin Grant or Rachel Moles, or take whoever you choose with USAC there, walking by like it's nothing, and that's not something we've talked about. This you don't get that if I'm going to the NBA game or NHL or MLB, whatever the case may be, and in networking, and too, you got everybody's there because they all love it, and if you come across the right person while you're there, it's pretty easy to talk about racing.
Oh yeah.
Track. So sounds like you had a good off season there.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yep, for sure. We always have a good time, and you're true. And it's funny because I just talked about this Saturday at Attica. I went there to watch the All Stars, and I released the points fund that day, and I'm going through there, and all 305 guys are like, "Man, that's just amazing," and they're like, and we kind of talked. They're like, it's. I said, "Well, you guys still invested." I said, "I think the reason this sport's so tight knit is the drivers pay to get in. Cars. I mean, when's the last time they charged LeBron $100 to get in the basketball arena to play that night? Don't happen. And so I think it kind of the drivers know, because they're paying the money too, what it takes to get in, and they know the fans are using their hard-earned money to come watch them put on a show. And I just think that relationship kind of connects people a little deeper, because the drivers realize what fans have invested be there where LeBron don't give a shit what we got invested, or any of the Major League Baseball players or any of them. They like, oh, yeah,
Yep.
they're getting their hundreds of millions and they don't care, where I think you even see with Larson when he comes, I mean, look at the lines that he'll sign autographs all night long, or Case Kane used to too. Tony Stewart has, and that because they know what the fans invested, because they're invested to get there too.
Yeah. And you make a good point. It's a collective effort.
Yes.
On all parts, the drivers and the teams, the tracks and the series, the fans, everybody's got to work together, and we see it happens where they don't, and it just makes things more difficult. And I think on that note, on the collective effort, I think a thought that I had is safety. We've seen it, especially it's already starting this year. We saw it a lot last year. As far as vertebrae being fractured. It was a trend last year, and I hope it's not a trend this year, but it's already starting. What is it that we can do to make sure it's never going to be completely safe? That is just ridiculous to ever think that.
Right.
But what can we do collectively? And it's been talked about, time and time again, but it never gets any legs to go anywhere. What can we do for safety?
The problem is, you see these last few years, there's a lot more back injuries. And they're on to something. I think this seat that they got that moves a little bit, and that they're getting there, but they're not all the way there. And it's funny you bring it up, because at PRI, I was in the Butler Built booth working on our sponsorship and stuff, and Caleb Henry was there, Buddy Kofoid, Greg Wilson, and I forget who the fourth driver was. And that was a big discussion. Two really liked that, and two really didn't. And Buddy's one of them that didn't, because if you think about it, just physics, not that I'm a big physics guy, but so we got everybody, and it kind of came out in this last week. Danny Dietrich had a big thing about how he don't use the ratcheting belts and he leaves these belts. So we got you. I mean, okay, so we tried to stop injuries by doing more protection, which is great. But now we have these seats, you pour in an insert so you don't move. You got a Hans device so you don't move. You got ratcheting belts so they don't stretch as much. And we have all this. Okay, so now what gives in the crash? The weakest point on your body, your back, because there's no flex. So these high impacts, what's going to move if you're that strapped, or you're not moving right, left, forward, backwards? So the weak point's going to break, and it's going to be your back, your lower back, or your neck, and so now we got the seat that moves a little bit. The problem is, and we've seen it with Macri, he's broke his back twice now. He has that seat, but you're still anchored to the car. So like Buddy said, he goes, he ain't going to run it till you can anchor seat belts to the seat, because that way they move. Right now, you still have the seat that moves, but all your belts are anchored to the chassis of the car. Well, that's, the seat's trying to make you move, but the belts are pointing down, so that ain't going to make it any better. And Macri's twice now. So I think they're onto something there. That's what Danny Dietrich, he's had some bad wrecks, and he's like, I run my belts a little looser. I don't use the ratchet belts, and I don't put the full insert in when the foam, so you can move a little bit. That way, your body's not absorbing all that. There's something, which I think there's something to that. I mean, obviously, people were getting hurt before, but to me, I think 5 years ago, there wasn't many people getting hurt. It would have been the last couple, because now you're in there so tight.
Yeah.
All the G-forces that your body's breaking. You're giving out,
Yeah. And you're bringing up some thoughts on my end, and I saw firsthand. I don't know if you caught the accident last year or not, but Ryan Barr's wreck at Lawrenceburg to end their season.
I seen it, but I seen the video, but I wasn't there for that one.
Okay. Pretty rough ride.
Or wasn't there? No, I don't think I was there.
I don't know. I mean, you could have been, and I didn't run into you. But typically, if you're there and I'm there, we seem to somehow cross paths.
That's the same night Saving Babin.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
So I was there. Yes. Yeah, because there's 2 bad wrecks that night. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was there.
Okay. Well, we didn't cross paths the one time. But so, not pitching this, but I know they've been working on something new, the chasm system, which is essentially, to me, it looks like a hockey puck almost.
Right.
And the bars run that on their car. And you can actually see a new insert compared to the inserts from the crash, how there was a compression. Inserts. And he walked away from it.
Right.
There's a lot of things out there. I know recently I saw folks talking about perhaps the pitch of the seat.
Yep.
Not having it so straight up and down, and maybe giving it a cant would assist in that. I think this all comes back though, like somebody's really got to spearhead this, and that's the interesting thing from my perspective is, like I've said, and you've been around the sport a ton. You've probably seen a lot more of this and a lot more conversation that I'm not aware of, but I know of a couple times where they talked about we need to have a safety council. We need to have a safety council. That came up again last year.
Yeah.
And a handful of years ago, we heard it, and then it just kind of went away. And last year.
Yeah, they kind of got one. I mean, they've had some meetings and that, so there is kind of one, but that's the problem is, it's about a 50-50 deal, like on this seat that moves a little bit and all this stuff is 50% of people, 50% don't like it. It's not mandatory right now. Right. And like some of the drivers are like, yeah, they're getting there because they're like, well, we need to get like NASCAR, but sprint cars, you can only do so much too. That's the problem. You can't put a big capsule like the NASCAR, yeah, that'd be perfect, but you can't put one of those basic capsules that those guys, in a sprint car. So yeah, you got to come up with this couple of these deals. So and that's the problem. It's like nobody's testing it. I mean, okay. And that was Buddy's biggest thing. This seat could be the best thing there is, but who's testing it? I mean, you don't want to be the person to test it without, physical test. Not on the track and with with whatever. I mean, so and that's the problem, like you said. I mean, somebody's got to figure out, and we all know sprint car racing is already expensive. And yes, we got a few corporate people, but it's not corporate millions and billions like NASCAR and IndyCar and that. So I think that handicaps us some too, because somebody's going to have to go, okay, I'm going to spend an extra $4 or $5 million to work on this. And they're just, I mean, I ain't saying there ain't that type of money in sprint cars, but there's not a lot of that type of money in sprint cars, so I think that handicaps it a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely. I don't disagree with you on that. I think there's enough sense out there.
Right.
People who've been involved long enough, who have enough knowledge and experience. How do we get these people to be able to come together and work together to find a solution? Because the people are out there. It's just a matter of getting the right people and getting them together for that solution to come. So, we shall see. And another thing, we talked about before we started recording, but we'll talk about it again. What are your thoughts about tires? GLSS is doing the American Racer thing. We know Hoosier, obviously, it makes it hard for some of these series when Hoosier is helping support those series financially, for them to get away from it. It's interesting. This is, again, with the safety council thing. We've been down this road before. What are your thoughts about it, and where do you see this going?
Well, and you bring that up, and GLSS had that co-sanction with USCS this weekend, and one of the USCS guys, Dale Howard, won on Friday. Then GLSS, Devin Dobie, down close to your neck of the woods, took the win, and he had American Racers on. And Howard's like, well, wait a minute, the USCS said we can only run Hoosiers, and it's like, no, GLSS for sure that. I've actually dealt with both tires back when I used to help sprint cars. American Racers, a cheaper tire. And my personal opinion is you don't get as many heat cycles through the Hoosier. So Hoosier, but Hoosier has changed a lot too lately. I mean, to me, I personally like it. One of the problems is American Racer can't produce, be a super big player in it because even with them talking, they don't produce as much as they used to. But they can produce some, but there ain't no way they're going to take over Hoosier. But I don't mind it because it's getting out of control. I mean, it just really is. And don't get me wrong, Hoosier does do a lot. But they're giving it to the tracks now. Or the series, are they giving all that money back to the teams? I mean, I think if the people divvied it up somehow, guys, there's different Hoosier contracts out there. Some of these series are getting X amount per car each night. Some, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they give us money with AFCS. We get money, and we put it right in the points fund because it's it's a nice amount, but it's not earth shattering like everybody thinks. I'm gonna say. Um, but they got some skin in the game and they give us 10 free tires too. So, there's some skin. I mean, but you put it in your points fund and spread it between the two divisions. So only 20 people are getting it, so, and just a small portion of it because, so yeah, I mean, I like that there's, some other people coming in here because almost $400 for a tire is ridiculous. I mean, I hate the bad mouth company that does good for the sport and gives people money, but look at their profit sharing and it's in the millions per quarter. So, I mean, obviously costs went up, like you're saying, well, the cost, but now it's where it's never going to come down and it's just taking the little racers out. I mean, look how many people fell off like the all late mile series already this year because fuel's up and tires are up. It's got to stop somewhere because local racing ain't going to exist in a couple of years if tire prices are $1,000 a set.
Yeah, it's interesting on a couple fronts. Like you point out, the tire prices keep going up. And I know a conversation I had with somebody was the American Racer idea is nice, but for those smaller teams, there might be times where, depending on who you're racing with,
Yep.
You may run so many races with a series that runs Hoosier, and then you want to run a handful of races, or a half dozen races with a series that allows American Racer. Well, is it financially worth it in that aspect? We're not
Right.
okay,
You have to have two
set of
brands.
tires.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Will we ever really see the end of it? I don't know. I'm with you. I think they might be involved in the game. I don't know how much involved in the game, and maybe it could help keep prices from getting out of hand. But
right, and most teams I talk to would rather, which I would too. I'd rather see the prices go down, $100 a tire and not give money to the tracks or spot, series or whatever, because that's what's got to help the sport overall. I mean, this person gets 5,000 for this series, or this person gets 10,000. That's great for a couple series, or there's rumors some series get $40 a car or stuff like that. But really, that's all right money if you got 30 cars, 40 cars a night. But let's just take it off the prices. And I think that'd be betterment for the sport. And I know a lot of tracks or a lot of series, people's listen be like, oh, he's stupid for saying that because that's money out of our pocket or money. It is, but as we see, the small family teams are disappearing right and left because of the tire costs. And hey, if that $5,000 or $10,000, if you can't make that up somewhere in your points fund, and all the drivers all season get, $50, $80 off a tire. I mean, I'd rather see that happen, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you need the cars to show up, right? So
Right.
if you're relying on these smaller teams to be at the track and cost on really across the board, take your pick, even gas to get to the track, right?
Right.
Everything is going up. So if we could alleviate some of that, we're going to get them to continue to show up. You're not going to get them to go, next week we might need to take off instead of going to the track. Like,
exactly. You're right. And one good thing, Hoosier gives us 10 tires, so we split them up. I mean, we have 17 races, so we do 5 for the 305s and 5 for 10s through the season. And, last year I had a guy, low budget team. He's the lowest guy raced with us. Everybody knows it. And he told me, he's like, tonight's going to be my last night, man. I ain't going to be able to hit every race because I need a tire. And I just, $360 is, I can't, if I go buy a new tire, I'm going to have to take a night or two off because I can't afford the pit passes and the fuel not. He just happened, and he swears I rigged it, and I didn't. I always do my drawings, and he won the tire that night. And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "I can go race now tomorrow, or or the next week," because he says that's money that I didn't have to buy for pit. If I bought that, I was gonna have to not go for a night or two until I could get money saved back up to go, and just like that, one tire made him not miss a race.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that's where it's at this point, for with a lot of teams. And so something has to be done because, yes, car counts are all right still, but you see more and more teams disappearing. Or I actually think the fuel price of that's probably going to help local because you're not going to have guys travel as far this year. The late models are showing that already. 2 guys already dropped off the World Outlaw Tour. So if you're a car that, running 17th last in the feature, or some of these guys only make half day mains, you're going to drop off the tour and go somewhere local where you're not spending as much money because you just have to now, or else you ain't going to be racing.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, and we could run down this rabbit hole, but I had that thought earlier before the season even kicked off, was with cost and people reevaluating where they want to run, and the fact that there are really good regional series out there, regional area, however you want to kind of look at it, in different divisions. We're not just talking sprint cars. You mentioned late models and things like that. There's some really good regional series out there that pay rewardingly in the end if you can be up at the top in points. So I am curious to see, guys are going to drop off. We know that, right? But I'm really curious to see, even though we're fresh into 2026, I think it's going to be interesting to see 2027 and where teams end up. Maybe teams that would typically try to run more of a national schedule kind of tie themselves to the regional series and stick closer to home. So I think that's a trend that we're going to continue to see.
And I think, and you bring up the sprint cars, there's some nights that when we race on Saturday night with AFCS, like this weekend, you already said, All Stars are Atomic, Ohio Valley sprint cars are at Wayne County. I don't think Sharon's racing yet. So there's 3 right there. But there's some nights when we race, there'll be 4 tracks, sometimes 5 in Ohio racing 410 sprint cars. Yeah. Now that sucks for like us with the series, all that, because everybody's going to get 20 to 25 cars. The 40 cars ain't going to happen, but it's great for the teams because if you have 4 tracks paying, like you said, at least 3 of them will be paying $4,000 to win and $400 to start. Then you might have ones paying less. But if you have 3 or 4 tracks doing that and you got 20, 22 cars at each track, well, that's good for the teams because now some of these teams are going to be, instead of, which I'd love to have, 35, 40 cars every show. But, I get people from Southern Ohio all the time. It's like, man, we'd love to come race with you, but we know when we pull up there, we're not getting the top 10. We already know that. And we're going to be fighting for it. And they can stay down there and race for, now these guys are getting main money for sure and could be top 10 money, So I think that's going to weigh in a lot this year. I mean, obviously you ain't going to know where everybody's going to go on a certain night, but when you have 4 and 5 tracks paying almost the same money, I think some guys are going to stick closer to home instead of traveling, going, okay, I'm going to go over there just for something different. But I think because we have some of that. We had some guys driving past our home track to come with us and we got a guy or 2 that goes past us to go out there. And I think you're going to see less of that this year just because of the fuel prices and such.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to suck for the tracks and the series because people's going to show up when there's 4 or 5 guys racing, tracks racing each other on a Friday or Saturday night. Well, we actually got some Friday nights where there's 3. So, you might go there thinking you're going to have 35, 40 cars. And I'm thinking most times there's going to be about 25, but I think it's going to be good for the teams. And I think it'll help teams survive this year, to be honest.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and it really makes me think of 2 sides to that coin because I've mentioned it before. And when we're starting up these series, I mean, specifically, it started with the late models now, but last year we started 410 series in Ohio. Like, how many 410 series are we going to have in Ohio?
Yeah.
And then we added a late model series this year, and it's like, okay, how many late model series are we going to have in Ohio?
Yeah.
So it's I think there's 2 sides to that coin, like you point out. The one side is, could we get oversaturated? Could you pull car counts down? And in turn, series of tracks will struggle. On the other side of that, like you pointed out, you're still getting a good number, right? But these smaller teams and these drivers running for these smaller teams are now getting feature money because you're getting 20, 25 cars. And so it helps them out on that side. It's interesting because I don't know that I don't think you can have it both ways. I think, you know what I mean? Like, it would be great if we could have it both ways, but
But some circumstances you might a couple times through the season, but somebody's going to get short into the stick. But I think it'll be all right. I mean, because like I said, there's there could be 4 series in Ohio, all Ohio series racing the same night. And that's going to happen this year, handful of times, and it'll be interesting. Some of them ain't that far apart. Everybody's always kind of tried to work together, and this year there's a couple places that just seemed like they just threw caution to the winds. Like, screw it, we're going to do it, see what happens. So it'll be interesting for sure. I know, because I've had a lot of people ask me that, are you worried? And it's like, no, we've, which we won't get ahead of the deal a little bit because I know it's one of your questions when we talk about series, but our money's there. Our points fund's bigger than it's ever been. Our bonuses are just the same, if not bigger. So, we got $80,000 in 17 races, 49,000 of it to the 410s and 30,000 to 305. So, I ain't worried because it's like, if that ain't enough to bring you there, sorry, you ain't gonna find that anywhere else in the state.
Well, and you bumped up, if I remember, it wasn't that long ago, you bumped up the feature payout and starting money and things like that. So I wouldn't be concerned if I was in your spot either. I think you're doing a good thing with that series. I'm with you. I saw this coming last year, and I was like, at some point we're going to see it next year where people are just, there's times you question if people are trying to work together anyways, right? But
Oh yeah.
I thought last year, I was like, I guarantee at some point this season we're not going to have a good working relationship. Not to say that it was there anyways with some places, but I don't think that benefits anybody, honestly. But
no, because the fans and the tracks are what's going to be hurt. Because the fans, if you say, "Oh man, such and such series here," and I've seen them 3 or 4 years ago, and they had 35 cars, and you show up and they're like, somebody's going to get. I could see somebody getting 18 some night or something, or something. You'll be like, "Oh man, what happened?" And then especially the casual fan, because not everybody. And that's one thing guys like you and I don't understand. Well, we do, but I think we take for granted sometimes. I mean, we think everybody's like us, but then I see it time and time again. The casual fans like, man, I've seen the All Stars. I had that before. Like, a lot of those guys will be racing with us when they're off. You can see the same. I mean, be a few different guys or the Outlaws when the All Stars. Back a few years ago when Reitzel and Courtney and all them's run the All Stars, and they're like, "Oh man, we've seen the Outlaws," and Tyler Courtney won. Well, people just the casual fan don't put that all together sometimes, and Yeah, sometimes it makes a difference. And I think everybody should survive this year as long as, they run efficient shows and stuff. I don't think we're going to have any problems of, somebody having major issues. But
Right.
I think everybody there, we seen it last year. There were some nights where there was almost 100 410 sprint cars racing in Ohio between the 4 or 5 tracks that are running that night. So we can do it. And I think as long as, I think we'll be able to sustain it most of the time. There might be some nights everybody gets a short end of the stick, but you'll have that sometimes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think, I think Ohio can do that. I'm not suggesting that, but I think, like you pointed out, somebody's always going to have to get the short straw.
Yep.
That's going to happen.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. But all right,
Oh, yeah,
let's get to the nuts and bolts. Let's get to the real reason we're here. AFCS.
Yes.
Talk about first. Let's recap your 2025 AFCS season.
Yeah, we had 16 shows scheduled, point shows, because we did 2 305 shows. We kind of did a test. We've been getting asked to go to other tracks with 305s, and those guys would love to travel a little bit more. So we did 2 non-point shows for 305s at Millstream. But yeah, we had 13 of our shows get in of our scheduled point shows, and gave out. We started off I think at about 80,000 this year, and we always get donations throughout the year. People, hey, we want to do this because we'll do anything. We don't care if it's $20, $10. I mean, we've had 25th quick, we've had last in the first heat or whatever. We've had all kind of things, and we ended up giving away almost $96,000 in cash and prizes. And that's not counting the purses. That's bonuses on top of purses. So a little over $96,000. And Cap Henry kind of dominated our 410s, made 3 championships in a row as 4th out of 7 seasons. DJ Foose has got a couple, and Cole Macedo. And then 305s, Jamie Miller took the title again. I think that's his 4th in a row, 3rd or 4th in a row too. So, but yeah, we had good car counts, great races, I thought. And, yeah, we was very blessed with a lot of fans. I mean, it's funny because with the streaming's really helped. I mean, I get fans from Australia message us all the time, like, man, that was a great race. That was a great race. We streamed it, watched it on Dirt Vision, and Fremont's got their own TV deal now. And we're just getting people start buying it because they're like, man, are you guys, what are you on? I get a lot of questions. What are you streaming on Saturday nights? And Fremont has their own deal, and you got to buy it. So some of them would do it. They'd pay the $20 it is to get, per race or whatever. And that's kind of the idea, because Fremont was doing that, putting the money back into purse sum and different things. So, but it's cool that we actually have a following. And I got a good friend over there, Graham, that's raced, and they'll do Facebook Live with me or chat with me with Caleb Henry or Cole Macedo or that when they come over in Australia. I got Australians, hey, we got Duane, let's call Duane from AFCS. And so it's cool that really went international.
Yes. Yeah, that was very cool. Very cool. So last year we talked before the season started, and we're doing so again this year. We talked about you had a 4-race mid-season mini-series set up. What did you learn from that, and will that be back in 2026?
As of right now, it is not back. It was, we always try to do different things all the time, and there's times I like to just take some things and throw it and see if it sticks to the wall or not, and it didn't do bad. It was one to give teams extra money and then see if we could draw some other people in, and it drew a few cars. Few guys that wasn't planning on running our thing came in and raced all 4 races. Creed Kemenall raced a lot of them. He's traveled. Bryce Lucius ran them all. So some of the local younger guys that wasn't committed to anything, and was kind of to show some of these people too what we're all about, and we had some other teams come in race with us every once in a while, but we got sponsor money to do it, and I come up with some wild ideas, and these guys believed in it, and it did good. It brought the car counts up. Our average car count for those 4 races, the best 4 races we had all season, car count wise, but it just it didn't do the biggest splash I thought it would do. And you'd think $12,500 extra dollars for 4 races between the purse and the low points fund. But I mean, and our series guys loved it. They was very thankful because there's extra money in their pocket. So, I'd say it's successful, but it wasn't the big bang as I thought it would. And so, we'll put money somewhere else this year and try something else.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing right. So we're talking money. You're talking figures. Put those numbers out there. I've got them here, but I want you to put them out there. The last 8 years, all the money that you've paid out, what this year looks like. Just talk about those numbers for a minute.
So yeah, our first 7 years, we were getting ready to start 8 years. Yeah, to me, it's hard to believe because when I got asked to do this and we put this all together, I thought a personal goal of mine would be like, man, if we could get to the point where we could give $50,000 in cash and prizes in a year, that would be like spectacular. And literally the first year we beat that by $8,000 or $10,000, and it's grown ever since. So for the first 7 years, and I think one thing that people, when they hear these numbers, think that that's including the nightly purse. No, all this money is on top. So the tracks pay the purse, and then I have all the bonus money, the points fund. We have 6 bonuses for each division, each night cash bonuses to start with. And there's some nights we had 10 or 12 because we have people, hey, pay heat race winners, pay this, whatever, we'll get your name out there and do whatever. But so the first 7 years, $547,700, $417, $547,417, and just extra. So over $500,000, and that's on top of the purses. 410 purse is like 15,800 each night. The 305 purse is around $6,000. So that's on top of all those, and we've had 7 years of races. So that's not counting any of that. This is just bonus money between points and nightly bonuses and some prizes too, because the Hoosier tires is a nice prize to get. So so this year we're starting out 17 points races, and then we have a special 305 race in October. We got invited to race with the World Outlaws at Millstream Speedway on the Thursday night with the Sheldon Hansfield Bash deal, and so that purse is going to be the biggest 305 purse AFCS has had besides the fair race a few years ago. That purse is even going to be jacked up a little more. But for the 17 races, not counting that, this is our regular points races. So starting out, the points fund for the 410s, it's going to be $35,800 this season, paying the top 10,000 to win the title again. Then we have cash bonuses and other prizes. To kick the year off, the 410s are going to be going for $49,035 in bonuses between the 17 races right now. 305s, we're actually going to pay the top 12 this year. Last year we had 36 members, and we had about 14 run the whole deal. So we're going to pay the top 12. That has increased. Their points fund is $18,200, up from $14,000 last year, and their bonuses are up this year as well. And with their cash and bonuses, we're going for $30,115 to start the season off for 305, which is the biggest ever by far. I think, yeah. So we're almost 80,000, 79,000 and some change to start. And I've already had people call like, hey, this week we want to donate some money for heat races and that. So last year we had a little over $10,000 throughout the season show up between cash and prizes. And I don't expect anything different this season. It happens every year, which I'm very blessed with that. And, this is a deal that's all sponsor driven or marketing partner driven. All of our partners, whatever I can sell the ads for, I got set prices at. That money goes to, that's what it's funded off of. It's, no big corporations. There's no big rich people throwing in a bunch of, millions or, like other series and that. This is all our, we're just blessed. We've had people that's been with us since day one, and unfortunately this year is crazy because I think I went 2 or 3 years before I even lost a sponsor. And then my sponsor turnover rate has been, we got about 40 sponsors each year, and the turnover rate has been very, very minimal. I don't think I've lost 10 sponsors in the first 7 years, and this year we lost 12, not renewing, but I got 2 new ones. So that just tells you people have stepped up that I have because they want to see this series succeed. They love this deal. The people that's involved. I mean, I've had some people's like, dude, if we can do anything extra, let me know. And I've talked to some of them like, man, things, a couple months ago, I was like, man, what's going on? And like I said, times are tough. Times are different. One business went out. One, can't blame him. He's a racer. And he's like, I'm getting my kid into racing now. He's young, and I just that extra money I need to put in his quarter midget stuff, which I get. I mean, we don't hold anybody hostage, and it's but we've been blessed. We still have a lot of our big people has been with us now, be 8 years. But yeah, we did lose the most ever, which kind of panicked me at first because I thought, man, what's going on? Because I haven't lost this many combined forever, all together. And and it was nobody says, oh, I didn't feel like we got any advertised. Just a lot of them's like, sorry, and you brought it up. Some's like, there's so many series now. If we do yours, we got to do everybody's, and we just don't have the money. I had one guy tell me, he's like, dude, says, I'm going to do yours because every year you've always done us good, and you was one of the first. Now he goes, I wrote $4,500 today and just checks, and he goes, there's 6 or 7 series now. And if I do one, because they're manufactured, if I do one, I got to do them all. And a couple of those already said, this is going to be our last year doing that because now there's so many, everybody goes to the same well, everybody's going to the same well. And some of these guys are just like, man, we got to cut back somewhere because, before we used to do 1 or 2 series. Now we're got to do 10 or 12 if we do one. And, it's, starting to show up a little bit, I think, on some of the things, but we haven't had any issues. We are up to, like I said, we did lose 12 sponsors. I got 2 new ones, but we're still with product sponsors and our I think I got 31 cash sponsors and 6 or 7 product sponsors. So we're close to 40, and I've had some people really step up this year. That's like, hey, we've always told you that if you needed it, and I'm not one to call and beg or ask, but they've called and asked me how it's going, and I'll say, hey, it's a little rough to start, but here we are, a couple days for the season, and we're a few dollars under last year to start. Our points funds are higher, but our bonuses, we got a few less bonuses, but it's right there. And last year we started at like 80,000 and something. We're at 79, like 2 or 3. So we're not far off at all. And, it's growed every year. I mean, like I said, we give away almost $96,000 last year. I'd always like to hit 100. I mean, why not? And who knows? Maybe this year we will. You never know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that happens.
But for 17 races, it's nuts. I mean, in all seriousness, you figure, and not that it's the All-Stars, but the All-Stars points won 60 grand, and granted ours is prizes and money. We're at 49,000 for 17 races between prize and money, and 35, there's 43 of it, I think, is cash.
Nice.
So,
very nice, very nice.
That's to me, that's just kind of wild. But I like it because, but I mean, everybody, I still have people call and ask me for sponsorship, and that don't happen a whole lot in most places, I don't think. And that's how I got some new ones. They're like, "Hey, we want to sponsor you," and who knows, we might get some more, as the season goes on. But it's just tells me that they believe in what we're doing. And they know, I mean, no, the tracks ain't skimming money. Nobody's skimming off. All the money goes to the drivers, and it's been great. It's literally like this deal is like a family because my buddy Jack, he's an old retired guy. He does a hard charger. Known him, he used to be a photographer at Eldora and all over the place. And he's a huge Sammy Swindell fan. So was I. We was same town, so we'd see each other and talk. And knowing him, I took care of his stepmom's house. She was right behind me when she'd go to Arizona. And as soon as I put this out, I was doing this within 3 minutes. He was on board. He's like, "Hey, I've always wanted to be involved behind the scenes." And he goes, I just want to meet John Ivy and Byron Reed. He goes, "That's all I want out of this deal." And now, 8 years later, they're like, "Man, I mean, we get invited to weddings, graduations, family Thanksgivings with all that, and or sit there and go to dinner with them or all these drivers. I mean, there ain't one that we're not welcome to." And we went out to eat a couple nights ago, and actually, I just can't believe that far exceeded my expectations. What would ever happen of me just doing the hard charger is like, those people are like family, and I feel that's what the series is. I mean, a lot of us get together in the off season and just hang out.
Yeah. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier. And, you point to here with your series, but, that's one thing about dirt racing, I think, is if you get to the track pretty regular and you hang out with some folks, the off season comes. I can remember this from last year. Like I got to quite a few races last year, and then the off season come, and I'm like, man, I'm not seeing the folks I usually see every weekend.
Yep.
I'm not enjoying this.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You hang out together a lot more and you attend things, and it's how that relationship evolves from we just want to go to the track and have a good time.
Yep, for sure.
So you talked about money, you talked about sponsorship. Anything else new with AFCS in 2026?
Nothing yet. I'm working on something. I don't know if it'll happen or not because I've always got all kind of ideas, and I got to sell it to somebody. And I'm working on a deal, which we'll see what happens. It could. I mean, I guess one of the new things is we got at least $4,000-$5,000 win 410 shows out of the gate. We got 3 at Attica, then our season championship night at Fremont. So sometimes those don't get added. Somebody might come and want to bump up the win, but we have Attica stepped up on 3 shows. I'm like, "Hey, we want to pay a little extra on these nights, and you don't have to work for sponsorship for them. We're just going to do it on our own," which is cool. And so we've got another California guy, Gage Garcia, coming in racing. We've had Cole, we've had Buddy. Now Gage is actually Cole and Carson's cousin, but he got 10th with the All-Stars the other night. So we'll have some California flavor in there again, and got a lot of new 305s. There's, I think, 5 or 6 new teams, and I think at least 3 or 4 of them is joining AFCS. They're rookies. Well, actually, Bryce Sleek already did, which he made the A-main last night or Saturday night in his first ever race in a 305. So got 5 or 6 people coming up and a lot of kart kids and stuff. So we'll see what happens there. But no, pretty much same deal. Get to run the 305s with the Outlaws, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They asked us to do that. And but yeah, right now everything's pretty much the same. We got you already have what is it? Last year we had 36 305 members and 17 410 members, and I already have Saturday night, I ended up 14 or 15 305 members and a handful of 410 members already. Everybody waits till last night, but we have same characters. Cap's back. DJ Foose, the new team. Gage Garcia, Cody Brewer. Let's see. I know Fusu back to us. Brandon Moore. He's going to be, he came up from 305s, only raced a handful of shows last year. But we'll have Brew Baker. Philo's back. I'm sure he'll probably be, Travis Philo took the year off last year. His mom and dad was building the house, and then he got married and had a baby. So, well, his wife did. He didn't. But he's back, so I'm sure he's always supported this. And I'm sure I think we'll have 14, 15 cars, and we got some that's might have a few regional guys show up. Few's been talking to me, so we'll see. And our 305s, you got Ivy and Miller and Weaver and all them coming back. Then you got some of these young guys like Brendan Torek that's followed us since he started racing. Got his first career win. Jimmy McGrath got wins last year. Seth Snyder. So I think we're going to see. I think this is going to be the year that I've always said. I mean, we got so many people are so close to winning 305 races. I think this year might be it. Casey Zebolt, she's been so dang close, and she led the other night. During the All-Star race, she led the 305 race 3/4 of it. So I would not be surprised one bit if she gets in victory lane this year. So I think we could legit see 8 or 10 different winners in 305s this year.
Nice. Good schedule as always with Attica and Fremont. All the drivers, sounds like almost all your drivers are coming back. You got even some new drivers on top of that. Big money there as well. Let's go over real quick your 2026 schedule for AFCS 410s and the 305s.
Yeah, kicks off this weekend. Friday at Attica Raceway Park, Saturday at Fremont Speedway. Then we're right back the next weekend on Friday and Saturday. Then we take a weekend off, and then we go May 8th and 9th. Then we're off the rest of May because you got the Let's Race 2 and then Labor Day weekend. But then we're back May 30th, Attica, June 1st, Fremont. And then we're off because I got a Mexico work trip, so had to take a weekend off there. Then we have Speed Week, so then we're back. We're back the
June 26th at Attica.
Yep, we're back just for the 26th. So just a one-day deal on the 26th at Attica. And then we're back July 3rd and 4th. Then we're off because you got the Kings Royal week going up. Then, in July after that, we're back so it'd be the 24th and 25th, I believe.
Yep.
Weekend after the Kings Royal. And then the last weekend, the 31st of July, is just Attica. Then August 8th is just Fremont. And then our championship weekend in September.
Yeah. September 11th, 12th is championship weekend there for AFCS. And then you're going to have 305s supporting the World of Outlaws there at Millstream on Thursday, October 8th.
Oh, yes.
Another great schedule. Love to see the money. Love to see the teams coming back. You keep building on it every year. Great things, but you got to have the sponsorship behind it. You got to have the help behind it. You got to have the support behind it. So who would you like to thank to help making the AFCS season possible?
Kissel Race Products, All Pro Aluminum Silverheads, Ballman Auto Group, Real Geese Decoys, Real Caps. Then we have Liuna, Local 574, J&F Construction, Build and Design out of Bucyrus, Ohio, Spanky's Pizza of Cary, Hoosier Tire, Napa All Parts of Bryan, Napa Corporation. Then we actually got Napa Fremont has new owners. It's the Witt family. They own, actually down in your area, they own a bunch of stores. He's got all over the place. He's got them in Indiana and that. He's a brand new owner to Napa. Don't know anything about racing, so we're going to take him out to Fremont some night and show him the ropes there. Then we have Crown Battery, Terry Hendricks Ford of Archbold, Ohio. We have Fremont Fence Company, DMI Bulldog rear ends. We got FK rod ends. Let's see. I'm trying to Ballman Auto Group. I lost my computer went dead with all my list. People.
Oh, no.
Salute Bar and Grill, Fremont, Ohio. Snyder Floor Covering. I can get this real good. These are all coming off the top of my head, if that tells you anything.
Impressive. Impressive.
Then we have Jack Fortney. He's been a big sponsor. He does the hard chargers. Janet Holbrook. She's been a big supporter of ours for years. She's doing the 305s this year for the quick time. Let's see. We have Sandusky Bay Remodeling, which is owned by Super Racer Brian Sabito. We have Rebar Die Casting. If anybody is familiar with that, Byron Reed, that's raced for years. That's his business. McIntyre Retirement Services. This is a guy, literally, I used to drink beer with at Eldora for years. We used to just get together. He wasn't a business guy at the time, and I wasn't a promoter. And he's as well as guys, like I said, the racing family. He's like, what if you thought there's a day that you had a series and I'm one of the sponsors of it? So Chris McIntyre there has helped us out last few years, and Premier Planning and Financial of Fremont, Ohio. Well, Chris is actually in Fremont now too. Robert Mooney and his group, he's one of them that stepped up this year. He's doing a heat race and a quick time this year, or a hard luck. He's really helping me out. Got a brand new one, S&B Excavating and Concrete, from Belleville, Ohio. No, I don't think I've ever met the guy. If I have, maybe I have, and I don't know him, but he got a hold of me, says, hey, we want to sponsor the series. So, he's on board. The Computer Man, he's been with us since day one. Ross Pawson over in Fremont. He helps out a lot of places. He's another one that's been on it since day one. Level Performance in Fremont. Fremont Overhead Door. Griff Engines in Sandusky. Engler Machine and Tool, Tim Engler. Down in Princeton, Indiana. Gressman Performance, Gressman Engines and Performance in Fremont. Another one that's been on since day one. Behrman Racing Shocks, Doug Behrman. He helps us out with some certificates for our hard luck, which is good because it's for labor of rebuilding shocks. So that's always nice if you get in a crash to have somebody donate a little bit towards that. SCS Gearbox provides us with some certificates for some gears each season. Angry Duck Graphics, can't forget him. He does all of our stickers, our A-main signs. He does those for us each year, helps us out with that, which I don't have a dime in them. So all that money, just extra money we don't have to spend that goes into the points fund. Brewmeister Trophy always gives us our championship trophies. Don't have to buy trophies either, and stuff like that helps because some of these trophies are $600 or $700 for the ones they do, and they donate the 2 championship trophies every year. DGGI, Craig Mintz and his graphic company does all of our series banners and stuff each year. So it's just and his other business Real Caps helps us out too, and he actually has the title sponsor of 305s with Real Geese Decoys. And that's what's kind of cool. I mean, a handful of these businesses are people that race with us. Sabito, Mintz. Byron don't race with us anymore, but you get guys like that have companies and help fund their team, but they throw a little bit in the series as well.
Yeah, it helps. It's something that you've been building on, and you continue to build on and continue to be successful year after year. Duane Hancock, series director with AFCS Sprint Cars. AFCS 410 305 season gets started this Friday, April 17th at Attica Raceway Park, and Saturday, April 18th at Fremont Speedway. Anything before we let you go, Duane?
Just thank all of our marketing partners. I mean, without them, the series would be nothing. Very, very, very blessed, and very blessed with some loyal teams. Like I said, a lot of those people's been with us since day one, and we've had some teams that have never missed an AFCS race, and we're going on our 8th season. And to me, that I don't know. To me, that says something. When we've had, there's at least 8-9 drivers in the 410s and probably 12 or 15 in the 305s that's never missed a race with us. And so, and there's, like I said, there's partners that way that's been with us, and they'll throw in more if we need it. And I look for that to happen this year, probably a little more, to be honest, because these people really and what I like about it is I look at it as my business or my money that I'm doing. If I want you to get business out of this or get mentioned, and I promote that to our teams, talk to our people that sponsor us. If nothing else, email them, send them a text, Facebook message, thank you. And if they can use our product, and why a lot of these are doing, it's like, man, you wouldn't believe this guy come in and said he heard it from the AFCS, and and so that's very important. I think that's one thing that race fans, we know sprint car fans and late model fans are very, or like to go to the sponsors and do it, but tell them that's why you're there. I mean, and that just helps out everybody.
Sure. Definitely
so
does.
Big thank you to everybody. And you guys, thank you for having me on. I was on another podcast last week, and they was giving me crap because they're like, you need to be proud of what you do, which I am, but they're like, you're very humble about it. And I like, and the more you get thinking about it, and you guys do great. You've always covered me. These guys always cover me, but you'd think, if you're giving out $500,000 extras in some years, and maybe some of these bigger people that report on stupid shit would be after you and talk about good stuff. So,
I mean, the rabbit holes we could go down.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate you. It's been good to get to know you over these last years, and but it takes all of us. It really does. And what you do is just as important to spread the word. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all here for. You're running a series, but you're helping, like you said, you're helping spread the word of those teams and those drivers and the sponsors that come on board. And we talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it again. And it's something that's the fabric of dirt racing, is that we've all got to work together. It's a big community. And if we don't work together, it just makes things harder for everybody.
Yep, for sure.
From your Dirt Nerds podcast to On the Throttle radio show and series director with the AFCS Sprint Cars, Duane Hancock, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon at a track. And like always, which is awesome.
I certainly hope so. Guys, this is Josh with the Court Jesters Podcast, and we hope to see you at the track.